14th. I knew that so easily because it's my brother's birthday. So yeah, and we're back online. So here we are again. It's all good. It's temporary. We will be back together before we know it. I'm going to show you the combo that we did today in Hoop Combo Flow. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and we can figure out your troubles together. So I will show you the combo from the front, and then I'll show you it from the back. We started with the lasso, and I'm going to go from there. What I'm going to focus on in this recap is the wedgies, obviously at the end, and talk about some of the transitions. The first one is pretty easy. It's going in from your lasso into a sustained spin. It should be pretty straightforward, but what we're looking to do is get a death grip when it arrives at the palm side of our hands. Basically, I'm looking for this part of my hand right in between the palm and the fingers. That's where I'm going to go for it. So it doesn't have to be fast. I'm going to practice grabbing it right here. As I'm grabbing, I'm squeezing my muscles and I'm bending my elbow. So again, grab, bring that elbow out and up so that I can come down into a nice sustained spin. Here, I'm grabbing the hoop with a death grip, but I'm also kind of pushing down towards the ground to keep a nice straight hoop. Otherwise, you're gonna get, you know, kind of a lazy hoop on the side here. So as we grab it, we're gonna lift that elbow and we're gonna come down nice and slow until we get to the front. Now, as I'm coming down, I'm also gently driving the hoop to the front of my body. Ideally, you want to end up here. You don't want to end up here. Grab, bring it down, end up in the front. This is where you can choose to use your other hand and grab it because we're going to step backwards to the hoop. So now the hoop is in front of me. From here, I'm going to do a little break on my elbows. We're just going to bring it back and lift our elbows up to shoulder level. And this is where we're going to break it back forward. As we're in the hoop, we're going to step out, bring it back, boing, bring it back as we lift now our right leg. This is where we're going to go into some thigh hooping, and the transition in this, you want to think about bringing the hand close to the thigh, and then we're going to roll it over. Rather than holding it up here and, you know, wherever you want. It's a little harder to get into thigh hooping from just wherever. So I like to close the gaps here onto my right leg. I bring my hand close to the outside of my right leg. We go boing in, lifting my leg, rolling the hoop so that I'm holding it palm facing up here, and then I'm just gonna roll it over the back of my leg. So it's a nice clean transition rather than, you know, from out here and no contact. So I've got contact on my hamstring on the back of my leg, and then I'm just rolling it over here. Yeah, that might get a little tiring, so practice your balance. And if you're feeling tired, try the other leg just to, you know, keep things even, nice and even. I've got my knee at a 90-degree angle, but if I start to bring my knee up too high, that's when the hoop starts coming towards your face. I'm just going to try to keep it as 90-degree angle as possible, and if it starts to go up, bring your knee down and correct it. If you want a break, you can also put your foot on a chair. It's hard for you to see here, but you can put your foot on a chair and you can just pulse up and down here. Yeah! Just a little tip. Hot tip, hot tip. This is definitely a hip killer, so make sure you do both sides and that you maybe give yourself a little stretch after. So once we're here, one of my students, Jeanette, came up with the idea of, instead of diving in like this, which is what I originally did, she just kind of did this thing, which I liked, which was grab it around midnight or 12 o'clock and ISO'd her way in. And I just thought that was so much prettier. However, you can do this kind of palms facing out, thumbs down, and then come in. Then you're in this position here. So you can do either one, you still end up in the same position. So I'm gonna roll my way in, and then I'm just gonna now bring my hand out to the side, and I can set up a wedgie with some tension. The other way, you need to be pretty good at wedgieing without a lot of tension from the start and kind of getting into our sloppy start, as I was calling them. So you really have to start to create that speed and tension as you go along. You might have these kind of things happening, but then, you know, really just give it a send over to one side and then get that tension going a little bit more and that speed, and your wedgies should start to come together a little bit better. The other thing that we went over was the kick up and back into the lasso. The idea of the combo is to go from continuous into the kick up. But if you want to practice your kick ups without having to do the continuous, because I know it's a thigh killer or whatever, put on some thick pants and jeans or something and makes practicing the continuous wedgie a little bit easier. To get into position for practicing wedgies, doesn't matter which side, but for this combo, we're on our right side. So I've got my hoop in my right hand, and I place the hoop on top of my right thigh, all the way to the ground. So we want it to be as low as possible. Then I'm gonna take my left leg, dance it around the front. So now my left leg is in front of the hoop, and then I'm gonna bring it back inside the hoop and put my toe towards the ground, okay? If you don't have any tension between your thighs, this is where you wanna pull it out and start to create that tension with your thighs. You're gonna shoot now the right leg out to the left side. The key though is making sure that your foot gets inside the hoop. If you bring your foot out to the front, that's gonna happen with your hoop. You're trying to tuck your foot inside of the hoop. That's what's happening. If you wanna try this without or with your hands, you can kind of do it in slow motion. If you're kicking out to the side, you're then gonna release a little bit of tension between your legs from the hoop, and we're gonna get our foot inside. I'm still twisting as I bring my foot up inside and then down. Another little thing that might be happening to you is your hoop is just too far up into your crotch. Try to push it down as much as you can, or maybe get a smaller hoop and try with a smaller hoop. For the perfect wedgie kick up, I usually aim the back of my foot for the back of my knee. So they're just giving a little kiss, or as I like to call it, going full flamingo. I relate to birds, crazy birds specifically. But anyways, that is the combo. I'm just gonna go over it one more time. Remember, we're going lasso into sustained spin. Ooh, look at the tension on that hoop. Now I'm releasing that tension, letting it fall towards the back of my ankles. Stepping out or prancing out or hopping out, whatever you'd like. Bringing it back, boing, off the elbows that have now been outstretched to shoulder level. Bringing it down as I raise my right foot into a 90-degree angle, right leg, sorry. Then I'm going to bring it close to my thigh so that I can roll it over the back of my thigh, going into this little thigh hooping. And then I'm gonna stick my hand in on the way up, and I'm gonna do a little iso as I come inside of the hoop, bring it out to the side as I stick my right knee out to the side, and I can do continuous, and then I can do my kick up. Right back into lasso, all over again. Boing. Ta-da! Sorry, light. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today and the combo, and have a great day.